All right, let's crack the code on two of the most common science topics that can really trip you up on a big test. I promise, by the end of this, you're going to have a crystal clear strategy to nail them both. You know that feeling, right? The clock's ticking, you feel the pressure building, and then a question about, I don't know, acidity or why something sinks just makes your mind go completely blank. We've all been there. Hey, that feeling? It's about to be a thing of the past. So today, we're going to tackle two of those concepts head-on, pH and density. And by the time we're done here, you won't just understand them. You're going to have a simple, step-by-step strategy to master any question they throw at you. First up, let's talk about the pH scale. Now, it seems pretty simple on the surface, but it has this one little secret that, once you get it, changes everything. So let's decode it together. At its core, the pH scale is basically just a ruler for chemistry. It runs from 0 to 14, and it just tells us how acidic or how basic something is. Simple enough, right? Well, the whole scale is broken down into three main zones. So anything from 0 up to 6 is considered acidic. That means it has more of those hydrogen or H+ ions floating around. A perfect 7 is neutral. Think pure water. And then anything from 8 all the way up to 14 is basic or alkaline, and that's where you find more hydroxide or OH- ions. And here it is. This is the single most important and honestly the most misunderstood thing about pH. The scale is logarithmic. This one word right here is the key to unlocking pretty much every tough pH question you'll ever see. Okay, logarithmic. It sounds kind of fancy, kind of complicated, right? But what does it actually mean when you're looking at a test question? It's not just a science term, it's a rule that completely changes how you compare things. So think of it this way. On a normal, everyday ruler, a linear scale, going from 2 to 4 is just 2 steps. But on a logarithmic scale, like pH, every single step you take is a tenfold jump in power. So we're not adding here, we are multiplying by 10 each time. So here's the bottom line. A substance with a pH of 2 isn't just twice as acidic as something with a pH of 4. Nope, it's 10 times 10. That's a whopping 100 times more acidic. That is a huge difference, and trust me, it's a classic test A trap. Okay, so let's lock this in with a simple game plan you can use on your test, your 4-step pH strategy. First, just read the pH value. Step 2, decide, is it acidic, neutral, or basic? Easy. 3, compare it to whatever else they give you. And 4, this is the most important step, always use that 10x rule if the question asks, how much stronger?
All right, pH is down. Now on to our second topic, density. You can forget all the complex physics stuff for now. For your test, all you really need to know is the simple secret of sink or swim.
To put it really simply, density is all about how much stuff is crammed into a certain amount of space. You know, are the little particles packed together super tight, or are they more spread out? That's density. And here you go. This is the golden key. This is the formula for every single density problem you are ever gonna face. Density equals mass divided by volume. I mean it, memorize this, write it down on your scratch paper first thing. This formula is your absolute best friend.
So how do we actually use this? Well, it almost always comes back to water, which has a nice, easy density of 1 gram per milliliter. So the rule is simple. If your object's density is less than 1, it's going to float. If it's more than 1, it's going to sink. That's it. It really is that straightforward.
And just like pH, we've got a strategy for density. Step 1, look at the problem and find the mass and the volume. Step 2, plug those numbers into our golden formula, D equals M over V. Step 3, compare the answer to whatever you need to. And here's a pro tip for step 4. Always double check your units. Okay, now that you've got the winning strategies, let's really quickly go over the common traps that test makers love to set. Once you see them, you can just step right over them. The absolute biggest trap for pH? You guessed it, forgetting that it's logarithmic. They want you to think pH 4 is twice as acidic as pH 5, but you know better now. It's 10 times stronger. And for density, the classic mistake is flipping the formula around. You're in a hurry, you're stressed, and you accidentally divide volume by mass. Just remember, M for mass is like a mountain. It always stays on top.
And finally, the silent killer on any science test, the units. They might give you mass in kilograms, but the volume in milliliters. You have to make sure they match before you calculate. Otherwise, you are walking right into their trap.
So we've decoded pH, we've demystified density. Let's put this all together into your ultimate formula for success when you walk into that test.
So here it is. This is your mental checklist. For any pH question, you need two things: know the acid/base levels and use logarithmic thinking. For density, it's that simple division, mass over volume, plus a quick unit check. That's it. That is the entire formula you need to succeed.
So there you have it. You've got the exact strategies to turn two of the trickiest science topics into some of the easiest points you'll get. You have the formula. So the only real question left is, feeling this prepared, what problem are you going to go solve next?